before we get into this video, if anyone is affected by anything that's said in this podcast, if you're feeling like anything we talk about, please go to the link in the description and the about section of our channel, and there'll be some links to suicide prevention websites, mental health websites, everything like that. Hello everyone, welcome back to the How's It Going podcast, episode 29. I'm here with Liam and Owen, back with the usual episode. We're trying to keep to a schedule because, we've all got school and stuff like that. But anyway, so getting to today's podcast, I'm guessing that you guys already know what it's about. It's about mental health, by the title obviously. And we're revisiting it because we've talked about it twice on our channel, I think, already. And
The first episode we did, it was when we were streaming for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we actually got into the topic like an hour and a half through it.
Yeah, so this one's going to be a full one.
We'll revisit it.
So, we're not going to bore you guys with anything like intros and that. We're going to get straight into it. So I was going to say, have any of you guys have any experience with mental health? Or, like, if you know anyone who's had experience and how's it affected you?
I haven't personally experienced any like issues, but I do know people who have, and I do know like the effects of what it can have on people and how serious
have they affected
it can
you?
Be. Do you know what I mean? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
Have what they've been feeling, so like if you've been talking about like that, has that affected you or all?
Well, I try and be a good person, and I try and help people to the best of my ability. But it's never like affected me as in like made me feel upset or anything.
Yeah.
Like, I just try and help people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What about?
That's the aim of the game.
Yeah, that's the aim of everything, isn't it? But what about you, Liam?
Same with that. Personally, I haven't experienced anything like that, but I do know some people that have, and I've tried my best to help them. It's not affected me, but like I said, I always try my best to try and help them, get them through it.
Yeah, that's the whole point of if you know somebody with experience with anything.
What about you, Luke?
Yeah, I've had experiences, not like as much as other people have, but it was obviously in lockdown, and I was feeling. I was gonna say it fully. I felt like shit, like genuinely, but obviously my friends, my family, they've helped me. And I've took my mind off it. I've worked on my music, and I've worked on the podcast. Obviously, I've worked on other things, and I've overcome that.
You've like turned yourself around, haven't you?
Yeah, because at beginning to the middle lockdown, I was at my worst. Like genuinely, I were up. I wouldn't sleep that much. I were up all night, like doing nothing, just watching YouTube. I was doing nothing. Because obviously we couldn't go out, then you'd just be sitting there on your own. You'd just be thinking. You'd be thinking and thinking and thinking, and all your thoughts would just get piled up. And sometimes people are scared to like tell the parents and that. And that's how I felt, because I just felt, oh, what's the point? Because it's just going to get worse, innit? Like, some people might not be able to help you. But then I will finally like, I can't live like this. It's just a bit mad. So I talk to my mates, I talk to my family, and it's all been sorted.
You got it sorted now, aren't you?
Yeah.
But that's the thing with the lockdown, and especially with the second one. That, like how you were feeling, Luke, that could be happening to...
That's happening to millions of people. That's going to happen to millions of people.
That could be happening, that's the thing with the lockdown, like... That's like our origin, really. Because I think we were all in lockdown.
Yeah, we weren't feeling best.
God, like, this is not on. Do you know what I mean? We need to make a change. And we did, didn't we? We made this. There we go.
This thing.
Platform.
We've changed it all up because we were thinking, why are we going to be talking about coronavirus all the time? People should have a change in the daily routine. They should go on YouTube or something and then not see coronavirus deaths or something like that. They should see something like entertaining like this, so they can keep their mind off stuff.
Or anything like to help them, like properly as an individual.
Well, in lockdown, you had
like with this episode about mental health. Like if anyone's feeling like things are too much or just everything at the moment is a bit overwhelming, you know, we're trying to make resources for people, or we're trying to point them in the right direction to get that help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just, I think a major factor in this is obviously because in a lockdown, well, in the first lockdown, which was the worst, you couldn't do anything. Like you could basically not go out in the main part of it. And then, as I said, people's thoughts would just keep building and building. And, you know, people kind of like bottle it like I did and not tell anyone. And I think people like our age, they don't have a voice. Like, they don't have a big enough voice. And we've talked about this. We don't have a big enough voice, we don't get heard as much. And especially during the lockdown, we're not going to get heard because all the attention's on everything else.
Yeah, exactly. We want to connect with people, especially of our age, so teenagers. We want to connect with you viewers, so you don't feel like things are overwhelming or you feel like you're on your own, because you're not. Because there's me, Luke, Liam, we're all here. We're trying to build a social platform and a community on the internet so we can all come together. It's like we've just recently started our Discord server for anyone who's on Discord. It's just a How's It Going podcast on Discord. If you search that on Discord, and we're trying to build loads of resources on there for people, and we're trying to use it so people can have discussions about things that are going on, things that are just going on in our society, and especially amongst us as teenagers. So if anyone wants to check that out, go on Discord, download Discord on your phone, search the How's It Going podcast on Discord, and it should be the first thing that comes up, and you just join it. It's on public, anyone can join, and you can drop us some discussions or drop us some like debate, so we can have a chat about what's going on. It doesn't have to be all serious things. It could just be like the new game on Xbox or something. But
yeah, it's just another way to talk to people,
for helpful resources.
It's another way to connect. So if we get more people on, we can start fun and friendly debates. We can try and occupy people, as well as in our podcasts.
Yeah, and it's as well as what we've been saying at end of podcast. If people are feeling like you would be with mental health and stuff, you can always go on there, chat to us. You know, you can just put in the conversation. You know, can I talk to you for a sec? And obviously we'll get back to you.
But you never know. You could meet like new friends on that server.
Yeah, you can meet other people who are feeling like you are.
As well. Like, we'll support anyone that comes to us.
Exactly.
Like,
everyone on the server would support everyone.
Promise.
We're all a supportive community.
That's a promise. That's a promise from us, and especially me. Like, I'll help anyone. Do you know what I mean? Because I take stuff like this, like, as people should. I take it really seriously when people come and talk to me about personal things. And I just feel like that's what other people should do. Like, so I try and do it so that other people think, oh, that's what I should be doing. You know what I mean? I don't want to, like, I'm not bigging myself up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah. It's just that you want to help people. Well, that's just it.
Well, and so do you two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's our aim. That's why we started it.
That's literally one of our motivations for the podcast.
That's why we started it, was to help people.
Just that one person could take something away for. Yeah, that's help. That.
Yeah. You never know who you never know who you're gonna help, because you know one person they could get help and they tell their mates, they'll be like, you know, I wasn't feeling too good, so I'll talk to these people, and they gave me some advice. So, you know, if anyone's feeling like that, go talk to them. You can. It's just being passed on of the help that we're trying to give to people. Sorry.
What do you think is the biggest mental health issue facing young people today?
Bullying is one of them.
Yeah.
Bullying is definitely one of them.
Cyberbullying, definitely over the recent months. especially this year as well, because a lot of people have been confined to the devices, and that prolongs cyberbullying, and it because people are so vulnerable in their lockdowns, it gets to them more than I think they would if they were out and about.
What about you, Luke?
Yeah, just cyberbullying, because any kind of bullying.
Do you not?
It's just.
Do you not think like things like depression?
Yeah.
Depression's on the rise.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be stuck inside. Depression's going to go way up.
Like depression, suicide. That'll have gone up, won't it? Because of like the fear of not knowing what's going to happen.
Anxiety. Yeah. Eating disorders.
Anxiety.
Stuff like that.
But it's bad. Like it's awful. Like to hear about.
I think some people. Some people think if they. Some people. I'm not saying people will, but some people might think I haven't had any experiences, so I don't see. Some people might.
Like matters.
Yeah. But it's just like. I know I sound like a teacher right now, but it's like it's not all about you. You know what I mean? It's everyone else. Literally, your best mate. They could be going through stuff. Your mum, they could be going through stuff. It's just not about you. It's about people that you know and people who associate with you, and they could be feeling like that. So you should just be as supportive as you can, and like not think of mental health and that as something that should only apply to someone who's feeling like it.
You've got to put others first. Like put other people's feelings and thoughts first, because you never know what that person might be going through.
Yeah, they could be going through the hardest part of life.
Like in school, for example, if someone says a negative comment or something like as a joke, you know what I mean?
They might not take it as a joke.
Yeah, but you haven't got a clue what they're going through. So, like, just be positive. Just be a positive person, and then you can't go wrong, can you?
Yeah.
And it also builds your relationships and connections with people.
Yeah, because you never know who you're going to be affected.
If you're this really positive person, everyone's going to want to be your mate and stuff, aren't they? And then that makes you a more popular person. Whereas if you're just you're just a person that's like, who always says horrible stuff to people for a laugh, and then you never know what they could take from that.
Yeah, it's just how people need to. I know I'm like bossing someone here, but if you're feeling like this, obviously you need to like tell someone about it. I know it's hard because I've gone through it, but even if you just look on a website, type into Google something like NHS mental health or mental well-being or something, and it'll give you advice and stuff to do, like tell a trusted adult or something, or tell your good mates. And you should never feel like you are feeling. It's just you should always try to be positive. Like Owen said, you should be a positive person. And if you can't, yeah, and we're gonna be bringing out a video soon, and that's gonna cover a bit of mental health and have some more.
That's a big project. Like that's the big project we've been working on. Like in the secret. You know what I mean? Behind the scenes. If you're a Twitch member, or a Twitch, like if you follow us on Twitch, you'll have got a sneak peek of that.
That's a reason to go follow our Twitch where we stream our podcasts.
It's good. It's well, I call it Project Crumpet. That's a code name. That's a code name. Look out for Project Crumpet coming soon. But anyway, back to the topic at hand.
A question: how do you think people can take their mind off it?
I'm gonna ask you that just then. That's what I was gonna say. What I suggest to people when they're feeling down or they're feeling bad about feeling bad about the things going on, is you should take that drive, like, because you can't go any up, can you? You can't go any down. Sorry, not up.
Yeah.
You can't get sadder. Oh, I'm putting this really bad. Like, you know what I'm saying, but basically, I to take that and put it into something they like.
Yeah.
So whether that's acting, art, music, anything like that, anything creative, use that emotion to put into a creative piece. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You find that you take away your focus from all the negative stuff and put it into something productive and positive.
Yeah, well,
So like for example, for me, if I feel annoyed or I feel upset about something that's happened during my day, this is gonna sound so weird, but usually for me, I enjoy acting. I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? And I always want to learn stuff about it. So I take that negative emotion and that focus on that negative emotion, and I shift it to a film or a TV show or anything on telly, and I just watch how these actors do their jobs, and it fascinates me. I don't know why. It's like, whoa, that's mad. That's mad. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I sound like such a weird.
Yeah, you
Like,
take your mind off it, obviously.
That's how I do it, and I find that cheers me up. Because I can't. For me personally, I can't have someone who's over the top on like, oh, you okay? It stresses me out. Do you know what I mean? I need to chill. I need to relax.
Yeah.
And that's just me personally. I know that's not for everyone, but you've got to find what works for you, and you can suggest stuff to people and see how things work for them. But it's down to you how it works for you, and you need to find what helps you when you're upset and down.
Yeah, because when
anyway.
I was feeling like that in lockdown, I was texting Liam and he was like, "Well, why didn't you just go make some music then?" I was like, "Well, why?" And he's like, "Well, it's something you love, innit?" I was like, "Yeah." So I did that, and it took my mind off it, and that's and I made some progress with my music. Obviously, I met people, and I think I'm going further in my music because of that. And I've gone from a low to a high ish. If that's the way of saying
it. Forget about what you're thinking about.
Yeah, because you're concentrating on something you love.
Negative stuff. Exactly. What do you do, Liam? Like, if you're feeling down, what do you do to make yourself feel better?
Well, I'd try and talk to someone, not like about it, but like, let's say I'd probably ring Luke up and say, do you want to come on Xbox for a bit, or I might go and watch one of my favourite movies, something that cheers me up, or listen to some music. Sometimes when I'm feeling down, I'll put some music on, and because I'm a very, very heavily theme park fan, I'll sit and write down like a theme park idea or a scare maze idea, because it's something that I enjoy.
Something creative as well.
It's creative to take my mind off it. And with the music in the background as well, it really does, like, sounds cringy, but it takes you to another place, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're leaving the bad thoughts that you were feeling.
So I get that. I get that. You feel like you're separated from your reality.
Yeah.
Like, I sound like such like a druggie or something, but it does.
You leave reality.
Does. Like, if you really find something that you connect with and you get emotionally invested in, you feel like you've gone somewhere.
Yeah.
It's so strange. Like,
it's like when I was making music.
Really
it's like when I was making music, I'd make a beat and I'd be like, "Yo," and I'd forget about everything. I'd forget about everything, and I'd just be sat there like, all right, and then I'd get proper into it. And then I'd just forget about everything that I'd be feeling, and I'm like, "Yo, alright then."
But then you look at your phone, and then you've just spent 2 hours doing that.
Yeah, you'd be sitting there thinking, why is time going so slow? You just sat there doing nothing. You go do something creative, look at your phone, 2 hours have passed, and then you're just like, if I do this more often, then I'll get better at that thing you're doing, and your mental well-being will probably get better because you're not. For me, my example, you're not sat on your ass doing nothing. You're doing something with your life.
I can tell that you're really connecting with this, Luke.
It's a good subject for me to talk about.
I can tell in the way you're talking, because I've never heard you speak on a podcast like this before.
It's a good subject for me to talk about because it's because I've had experiences. But if you've watched this far and you know, hopefully you have. If you haven't, fair enough. But yeah, if you have watched this far, please, you know, go to the description if you're feeling bad. Just go to the description, look at some websites, you know, talk to a friend, talk to an adult, as we've just said, and you know, talk to me, Owen and Liam. You know, I think
Just chill with us.
I think a lot of the people who
Chill
watch
with
our
us.
videos actually have us on like Instagram and Snapchat. So just drop us a text like, you know, can we talk for a bit? I don't, you know, I don't feel
What
like
was that,
I don't
Will?
feel good. Yeah, that's what we're saying on
It doesn't have to
podcast.
be like it doesn't have to be negative, or you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
just
have
have
to
a
be negative
conversation
stuff
with
all
us.
the time.
We say this every
Just
time.
come and chill with
We
us,
say
man.
this every week. We're always open. We're always here to chat about anything you need to.
What do you think is a good resource for people struggling? So like a website, a friend, or
A family,
parent.
probably your mum or your
Yeah,
dad.
you're probably your closest family member or maybe your closest mates if you're not comfortable with that sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah,
Look, there are.
this doesn't really sound. It doesn't really sound right, but be careful who you talk to. I guess you could say be careful who you talk to
No, I can get that.
because
I can get that.
if you talk to say not your closest mates, but you know someone who you chill with at school, like they might not be able to help you, or I'm not saying they will, but they might give you some wrong advice, if you can call it that. I don't think you can, but you know you want to tell the people you trust the most, because there's no point telling people how you feel and bringing out secrets to people that you don't really know that well.
Mm.
Yeah, like for us, we're not expecting people to come to us
Yeah,
and tell us
obviously.
everything in their life. Obviously not. Like, you might not know who we are, you know what I mean? You might have never met us before. But what we're saying is, if that works for you, then we're here. You know what I mean? If that's your method of communicating with people the best, then that's fine, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that, like if it's really serious,
Then you
you
shouldn't
need to,
really be
like,
talking
speak.
to us.
No, I'm not saying that, but
But
what I'm saying is you need to get like a professional.
yeah, if it's like
You know what I mean?
at the serious point, then obviously talk to
That-
people like us, but reach for more professional help, because the most we can do is, you know, we can point you in the right
we
direction.
can
We can
reassure
talk to you.
people.
Yeah, but
and we can,
and professionals, they can give you like proper advice because they know all about it, or talk to someone who's had the same experience as you, because they can just give you the advice that they have.
There are some.
it's all about connections.
There are
It's
some.
all about connections. Like, sorry, Liam, I keep
Nah,
cutting you
it's
off.
alright,
Go
go
on.
on. That's alright.
I was just gonna say, like, for us, we're connected to some mental health organisations, so
Yeah.
we know firsthand how to direct people to these groups, and we can do so easily. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not professionals, but we know what to do ish. Like
Like,
if someone,
we can reassure people.
yeah,
We're
if
not,
someone comes up to
we're
us
not
or texts
doctors.
us about that, and we'll just say, we'll just reassure you, and we'll be like, you know, go to this website, and you know, maybe there's some answers that we can't give on that website.
Go on, Liam. What were you gonna say?
I was saying, like, if we might be able to give you if we can point you in the right direction, there are some great mental health hotlines out there. Like, if you feel like you don't want to sit and read about different things on a website, you can go onto them certain hotlines and you can talk to people
Yeah,
who will
their
understand
hotlines are
you.
there for you.
Yeah, they're there for you 24/7. There'll always be someone there to talk to you, no matter what, and you don't need to feel like you
Well,
can
look-
just sit there and wait.
We're lucky in this day and age that we have as phone screens, as tablets, as laptops, anything connected to the internet, because there is so much helpful stuff on the internet that people just don't think about. Like, people think the internet's just an awful, horrible place, which it can be.
It can be.
But at the end of all that horrible, just like,
It's like a light at the end
awful
of the
stuff.
tunnel. You know what I mean? There's always a light.
Exactly. There's just that little area of Google that's like, yo, we've got your back. You know what I mean?
Yo, we got you.
I want to ask you though. I think we need to talk about the different kinds of mental health that people can have. Like I said earlier, like with depression, eating disorders,
Suicidal
all that
thoughts,
stuff, and we
stuff like that.
Yeah.
need to have a talk about what these things, how these things can affect people, and what they actually are. Because that's a thing, innit? I don't think people know what the term mental health actually means.
A lot of people
Like, could you
don't.
sit and tell me what it means?
I could tell you what I think it means, but I don't think I could give you a proper definition.
Go on.
Well, I
I think it means
think it means just it's it's the part of your brain that kind of affects how you are. So if you have a good mental health, you're really positive, you're joyful, you know, you got loads of mates, you talk to them, you chill with people, you know, you're good, you're chilling. But like if your mental health's not as good, then you know you could be feeling alone. You could be feeling like it's dark in your mind all the time. You know, like there's no one to talk to. So if you have a bad mental health, then obviously it's the opposite of a good mental health.
mm,
Obviously I
What do you
can't
think,
obviously
then?
I can't sit here and give you an Oxford Dictionary definition, but that's what I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Oh,
What
and
do you think it is,
Liam,
Liam?
what do you think?
Well, I'd say like the key word in it really is mental. Like it's what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and what you are thinking and feeling is causing you to do them actions. If that makes sense, like
Yeah, it's just
Hmm.
the thoughts and the feelings of you.
it's nothing. It's what you are thinking. Like if you, let's say, you have an eating disorder, what the terrible thoughts you're thinking are causing you to do those actions.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Owen, what do you think it is?
I think it's the condition of your mental well-being. So whether it's like if you've got a good mental health, it means that you have a good positive outlook on life,
Mm.
and you can you like you you can support yourself with things that are going on. But where if you've got not a bad, but like if you've got a weak, not weak, I don't like if you've got a severe mental health,
Yeah,
let's
I get what
say.
you're saying.
I don't know what the correct term is for that, but it means like you you can't cope with a lot of negative stuff that happen, and it can result in things like depression, eating disorders, you know. And then there's that side, but then there's the actual medical mental health things like schizophrenia.
Yeah, paranoia,
Mm.
anxiety.
That
Yeah, yeah,
paranoia, you know, they're like diagnoses, and so is depression.
yeah. Mm.
They're all like doctor diagnosis um, conditions. But I suppose it's like the way you can cope with it and control it, because you need to have a good grip on your mental well-being, because otherwise you're not going to be able to function properly,
Mm.
like in your day-to-day life. And that's the message in it. That's what we're trying to tell people is that it is okay to feel them kind of things,
Yeah,
because
it's not
everyone does.
it's not something
Everyone
to
does.
it's not something bad. It's not something frowned upon. It's just a way of life, isn't it? It's like it's
Mm.
part of life.
It's just if it's a bit serious, you need to be open with it, because other people want to help, and you shouldn't shut yourself off from society and the people who care about you the most, because they're not bad. Not everyone's a bad person. You know what I mean? Because it's like the bad feelings and the bad thoughts can make you believe that people are bad people when they're not. You know what I mean? Like, just you need to trust people, help them so they can help you. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Mm.
I want to say though, me and Luke, we've started a 13 Reasons Why rewatch. I know this is going a bit off, but I promise you, it has got something to do with this.
Yeah, it's like
started
at the start of episodes, it gives a website, and like if you're affected by anything, got this website and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I was thinking, Luke, as we were rewatching that, it opened my eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because you're like, the people who are affected by this, they're feeling like that and stuff like that. You're noticing things.
Yeah, like it's just, I know it's a fictional world with like dramatic characters.
Yeah, it's got real world problems though. That stuff like that happens every day, and we don't know.
People like, it's weird, like, because we've been doing the podcast as well. It's just made me sit and think. People like actually go through a lot of this, but it's like the subtle things. Like if a character don't really talk to another character, that could be like they're trying to shut themselves off and stuff. Like the little, like you've got to be skilled to pick up on this stuff.
Yeah, you got to notice the signs.
Yeah, but the big one from 13 Reasons Why is obviously suicide, isn't it? And that is the big, like, that's the one that, like, it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, that's the one
I mean?
that it's at the point where it's the top serious one. That's the biggest. That's the biggest thing.
That's the one that's the one that affects me.
If you get to that point, then obviously you need to get talking to people or read up on things and stuff like that. Obviously you'll be hearing this like every single day, probably, and if you're at school in assemblies and stuff like that. But obviously if you get to that point, it's one you shouldn't be feeling like that. And I know people do, but you shouldn't, man. You should try stay positive throughout everything. And number two, as we said, just talk to someone. It's one of your mates, your mum, your dad, your sister, your buddy, uncle, I don't know. Talk to someone who will help you, because at that point, that's the point where people say, what's the point? And that's when people get to the top point. And it's just obviously, like Owen said, that's at the point where it affects the people around them. Like we've seen on 13 Reasons Why. If you haven't seen it, then I'd recommend it. It's good to watch, and it's got real world issues. And when people get to that point, it's when friends and family can get affected. Like I know I'm rambling on a bit, but it's just obviously you're being affected, and it's people who you love and people who love you. That's the point when they get affected, and then it just starts a whole chain of like bad emotions, and it just shouldn't happen.
It's like I remember saying on the first mental health podcast. I remember saying right at the end, you only get one life.
You only get one life. There's no respawn. There's no reboot or whatever. You need to live life to the fullest.
Make the most of it.
Yeah, and you've got to. I saw a quote from a YouTuber I like, and he said, "Peace." Well, he's not a YouTuber. He's actually a rapper, but he does YouTube. Peace, love, and positivity. You know what I mean? Be true, be you. That's another one.
Yep. Health is wealth.
Health is wealth. Exactly.
That's the big one. Health is wealth.
Health is wealth. I'm not stealing that from a YouTuber. He's called Laid Back. He makes proper funny music reactions, but his message is true.
Yeah.
Health is wealth.
Yeah.
You gotta look after yourself, and you go far in anything.
Yeah, as long as you feel alright, then you're gonna go somewhere.
Put yourself first, and then you can help other people. So like if you're in a position where you can support yourself and look after yourself, that's when you help people. But if you're not, the only priority is you. No one else.
You gotta sort yourself out before you help other people. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we've been going for a while now, and I think the viewers are starting to get a message of what we're trying to say. So if it's alright with you guys, I think we should call it there. So
Yeah.
So from me, Liam, and Owen, I just want to say, you know, the quote Owen said, "Be true, be you." You know what I mean? So
Look after yourself.
yeah, look after
Like,
yourselves, man.
You've got, please just put yourself first, and especially with lockdown for the people in the UK. Please, like,
Stay
take care of
safe.
yourself.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Stay safe.
We're
And
always
as
here.
we've said, links in the description, man, to the websites and in our about section on the channel. And obviously, you've got us.
Liam, have you got any words?
Yeah, we're always here. Don't feel like you can always have to bottle it up. We're always here to chat to. You've got your family you can talk to, your websites, hotlines. Everyone is there to help you. So don't feel like you're alone in this.
Yeah, man.
So, from me, Liam and Owen, we'll hopefully taken something away from this video, and you know, you've got a better idea of how people can feel when they have mental health issues. So, you know, as we've said at every other video, like, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, share if you can. Please share this video, because you never know who'll need it.
Remember the
Links in the description.
In the description, sorry.
Links in the description and the about section. I'm trying to emphasise the websites and stuff like that. And yeah, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, obviously. As I've just said, share it. Share this episode mainly, I think, because you know, you never know who'll need it. And yeah, we'll end this now.
Right. See you all later, guys.
See you in the next podcast, guys.